Tubers and Tubettes. My name is David. I live in Northern California. And I'm over here at the AMPM, and I just wanted to talk about an observation that I made. Guy drove up next to me. We kind of came up at the same time, and he had a really beautiful car. I mean, the car was just stunning, Scion, which I just like it. It looked really sporty. And then the guy got out of the car, and he was severely overweight. He was really, really big. And he got out in front of me, and then I went in. I got my Diet Coke for my wife, which I get for her every morning. I know it's not good for her, but that's what she always likes. So we've been married for going on 37 years. So I don't argue with her. I just come over here and make her life easier. She likes to crush ice. Anyway, the guy was in front of me. Oh, as we were going around the AMPM, I noticed that he was picking up a couple of these, like what look like sausage McMuffin, things. Really bad for you. And then also he was getting a big Coke full of sugar, not diet, just a big Coke. Actually, none of the Coke products are, they're not good for you, but we all know that. So we make choices. And then the last thing, as he was getting in line, which this is what caused me to even want to make this video about it, is he needed to get some cigarettes, and he needed to get some chew. The chew is the tobacco product that you put inside your cheek, and I've had a couple of friends of mine that's what they do. They spit it out, but it's a really great way to get gum cancer, mouth cancer, cancer of the throat. I mean, we all know that, right? So here's a guy who's really overweight. He's got to be diabetic or pre-diabetic at least. And then in addition to that, he's continuing to eat and drink all this terrible food. And then in the last part of it, he was buying these tobacco products, smoking, and also putting chew in his mouth. And it made me think about a saying, how most of us would normally never think about suicide or about killing ourselves. Yet some of us are killing ourselves a little at a time. And the being overweight, that's really tough on your body and your heart and everything else. And then putting sugary things like a big, large Coke, you're drinking that, and eating really greasy food, that's just not good. It's not going to help you. And then the last thing is the smoking. You know, these tobacco products are just killing people every day. And for this big, large guy to be doing that. And I just thought it was kind of strange, that he was in his. So my point on that is that, yeah, you won't commit suicide, but you may do a little at a time. May do a little bit here and a little bit there. And so you don't notice it as much, but it can be just as bad as committing suicide. And I remember there was a weightlifting guy, had a company called EAS, and they sold protein and stuff. This guy was really fit, and he was very rich because of his company, EAS. I don't even know if they know anymore, but he had a little story that he talked about pulling up behind this guy that had a really, really fancy car. And yet when the guy got out, he was totally unhealthy. And it was just at a sharp contrast to him, who had a really fancy car too, but just in excellent shape. Now, I don't know. I haven't checked on the guy. He could have died from drugs or something. I don't know. But I just thought that it was kind of ironic how, we'll take care of our cars. We'll buy these really fancy rims for it. We'll, lower it. We'll spend a lot of money, rewrapping it, and that these possessions that we have. Yet the biggest possession you have is really your health, and you have to safeguard that, and you have to do things that you don't want to do. But again, the greatest thing about all of this weight loss and everything else is that you don't have to do it in one time. You don't have to just do it, like in one fatal swoop. You can do it a little bit at a time. You do a little bit here, a little bit there. That little bit adds up to a big thing. So that's what I'm trying to get across in this observation that I saw, is that you don't worry about the car. Don't worry about that part of it. Worry about your health and your and and get off of. I know it's hard to get off of cigarettes. It's very addictive. It's made that way. And foods are very delicious. Believe me, I'm going through it now because I have to deal with my diabetes. And mine is just in our family. We have it. And so I have to deal with it. And it'd be so nice just not to deal with it, not, or just ignore it. And then the last thing is just regulate what goes into your mouth. Look at it to see that it's healthy, and then make decisions based on that. Because it's not like you have to cut out everything, but you have to start to scale back a little at a time. And the way I did it and the way I'm doing it, because I fall off my diet too, but the way I do it is I try to take it one day at a time. Not like saying I'm never going to eat a hamburger ever in my life again, but I try to say, well, today let's eat healthy. Let's try to make healthy choices. That, I think, is a more doable way of doing it. If I was a smoker, and I've never smoked in my life, I got that example from my dad, who was a chain smoker, and my mom, who smoked. So just how nasty it was, I never got into that. And then drinking, I don't drink, alcohol. So I did have a beer on my birthday, on Modelo, and it was good. I could see myself getting into it, and maybe I have that alcoholic gene because of my dad. But one every once in a while is not bad. But cannot come home every night, doing shots. It's just poison. I mean, you don't want to think of it like that, but I think of drinking like poison. So these are just my thoughts. I'm not putting the guy down. I don't know the guy. I didn't have a conversation with him or anything. It's just observing. And I know you guys do the same thing when you're out and about. And I just wanted to point that out, because there will come a time where you're going to have to watch what you eat. You may have to stop smoking. You may have to stop drinking. And you may have to stop eating bad food. So why not make that point right now, and then go from there, so that you can live a long, and healthy life. It's not a thing about how long you live. I mean, that is important, but the best thing is that you're living a healthy life, and you don't have as many medical problems. So thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys listening to my little rant, but I do think it's important, and as I go around and observe different things, it just makes me think of things a little different, and I'm glad I have a channel that I can say it to, and people that might be listening to it. Thank you much, and have a great day.